Okay, this is an instructional video on how to change a HS head on a McDonnell Johnson joystick. The first thing is to take the head off so you can replace the top section there. Now you need to get to these screws here, so in order to do that you need to take out the two little grub screws. Now they're usually filled with a little bit of silicone, so you can dig that out. I generally use a little flathead screwdriver. Gets most of it out. Okay. Should be enough to get the Allen key in. Okay, there's that little grab screw there. I generally leave them in so they don't go missing. And after the second one, it's got a fair bit more in it, so make a little bit more effort. Let's try that. Notice I haven't gotten all the silicone out, it's just enough so you can get the Allen key in without it slipping. Yeah, you can see the grub screws there. So you simply lift the grip like this. So, next step is to go after the little screws. So you have three. You just need a small Phillips head screwdriver. That's one screw. The second screw. One of the screws may have a little bit of wax inside it. That's just a warranty prevention thing to stop people from pulling them apart, but obviously we need to in this case. Okay, now slide that back on. Now let's have a look what we have inside. We have obviously two switches like we see here, and they go to different wires. Now they're all blue wires, so you have to take note which one you're going to do first. Now you've obviously got a common, so they've just taken a pair and one of each and common them up. So what I generally do is I will go and cut the common first. I will try to cut it where the solder point is, which will hopefully allow me to pull off the old heat shrink. Okay, now we need to take note which is the left and which is the right switch. So I will cut the left, which will face it upside down. The left one above the heat shrink, and the right one below the heat shrink, just so I know which one is which. Okay. So this one's still got the heat shrink on it, so I know which one's going to be which. So I'll take this one off, so that's how it would match. So you know that this one here will be the right one, and that's your heat shrink one. Okay, next step is to basically peel some cable off, some cover of the cable. I do this much better with a little blade and my fingernails. And what I do is I will twist that like so. Okay. Now, so we know that's the right cable because it's the one without the heat shrink, and the common is obviously black, so that's pretty easy. What I do is I give myself plenty of lead here. Because you can actually tuck that up inside the head of the joystick. So I have snipped off one little section here. Now I will go and strip off that cable. It's a much harder cable than the one on the joystick. So don't be shy about cutting some of it away. There we go. Okay. Now I will get a piece of coloured heat shrink. Slide that on. Okay. Next step is to join the two together. Now you may need to strip off a little bit more of this cable here, just to make it nice and and then we'll go and twist these together around each other. So they form a nice straight line. Now we'll go and get my solder. And solder this section. Fair bit of solder. There's no chance of that falling apart. Okay, cut off the excess. One of the wires. Now we've got a nice straight little section. Put on my heat shrink. Get your heat gun out. There we go. Job done. First one. Now I will do the second one. You can take the heat shrink off this one now because now you can't really muck this up. Okay, strip off some cable. That's nice and neat. And I take one of the left ones and judge roughly the distance. Snip off the end. Twist it. Now for the heat shrink, I use different colours just to be different, and we twist them together. Okay, get the solder and solder the two together. Okay, no need to cut anything off there. Slide on the heat shrink. Okay, second one is done. Now for the common. Hopefully you'll be able to pull some more of the common out. Now we work out how much we need and trim those off. This one will be a little bit thicker. So what I will do is I will take, okay, do some stripping. Okay, tie these two together, put on the heat shrink, and then twist the two together here. And now we just solder the last section. Okay. Now all that remains is assembly, so you can push this forward. Okay, now what I do is I tuck the cables in. You may need to take out one of the grub screws to see where the hole is for alignment. Let's see, probably hard to see on camera, but you can push that quite a fair bit way in. Prevents the head from spinning after it's tightened. So after I've aligned them, I'll put the grub screw back in. Now make sure that when you're putting the head back on, it's not backwards. The way you remember is the label faces the switches. So that one's nice and tight. Now for the back one. Okay. Now the assembly is complete and it's done.